Hello, my friends. Much is going on this week in terms of raising up, rising higher, and stepping higher onto the path of initiation. It is a gift that even sometimes I do not even realize. And there are good times. There are many good times that they go unnoticed. But I am trying harder, and I will to try harder. To be the presence always on guard. To be that aspect of life that just gives. That just wants to give. And this is the opening of the heart. It is the opening unto the greater foundation to which light may be anchored unto this planetary body. And so, I thank you with all my heart for everything that you continue to do. As far as decree work, keeping your gaze on high, sustaining protection for those who are pursuing the life of goodness, the life of the sacred fire, knowing it or not knowing it. These individuals need the greatest help right now. And so, this is why we are here. Every single call you make, every single setting that you place upon a life that is of perfection, you magnetize that into your consciousness, and that outpictures through every in-breath and out-breath, whether you realize it or not. And this is what we are all striving for, and I commend you to this work of the Chila, to ever pursue the constant refining of our attention, of how imperfection may be transmuted from old habits, behaviors. I am very thankful that anything that is said through me helps any part of you to be the fullness of your mighty I Am presence, so that the Brotherhood may work through you and pour their love and their light through you to hold the balance for what is not in keeping at the moment, which is, for the many, their part, their responsibility. It is our duty, it is our responsibility and it is who we are. Gods of the sun, goddesses of the sun we are, and ever may we continue to be the fullness of this sun. So I wish to say right now that the protection of your calls from your mighty I Am presence, from the hosts of those who lead on the blue flame, is not to be looked as something that needs more upon your live stream. It is not something that needs to be lessened, for it is the need of the hour for which we require the greatest perfection. And that keen eagle eye, that very fierce determination that keeps our will and our focus upon the path. And this will allow very little to none rents of this protection which you consistently need, which needs to be in the forefront of your consciousness many times throughout moving in the outer world, but even in your home. There are many channels of the outer world which many think as, oh yeah, I know it's there, but it doesn't usually affect me. Or, it just pops up and there's nothing I can do about it. This is the time when being the presence on guard, when knowing exactly what may come up into your world and how much it may affect you if your attention is not fully upon God, the mighty I Am presence, and the very gifts that are bestowed upon us in terms of tools, fiery engrams of the different angelic and ascended hosts from the Elohim. It is so necessary to keep the shield of God, perfection, always about us, always qualifying things, places, people with that white fire, with the immaculate vision which must come through your inner vision before it is outpictured upon your outer physical senses. And that will only come through obedience, through bending the knee to every tenet of cosmic law. Now I am learning here how every little piece of life is sacred. How every little piece of dust, dirt, every molecule of air, how everything is sentient, how the very foundation, the very essence is that white fire, with those ever constantly revolving electrons. From the great central sun. Just like right now, how everything you see, feel, and hear are the very electrons of revolving around that white fire, giving you access to expression, to hearing, and taking action upon what other electrons of other individualizations, of other places and cities and conditions need conscious attention to, through decree, through song. Perhaps it is just your directed attention. And this is the point where you know that when you step onto the path, your attention is always being followed up upon by the Brotherhood of Light. And they use your attention through contemplation, visualization, conscious direction, and many other expressions of the sacred fire that are used to anchor their very momentum, their specialties. Now I've been reading about our beloved brother, Jesus, in the Aquarian Gospel, which is a very great book where it reveals the Akashic records of the experiences of Jesus and individuals in that era, where profound teaching was explained. And one that really stuck with me recently, that I read the other day, was that how if you allow your consciousness just to be receptive to the very essence of life that is flowing through the ethers all about you, no matter what circumstances you are in, that love, the love of God, will flow unto your very consciousness and will provide doorways of expanded consciousness of how things truly are and how the laws of this divine quality of love brings life to that ever-striving compassion and comfort, that there is always a light that you may go to, and that is where you are, and we must invoke it vigorously. We must invoke it with all our heart and see this love, see the white fire that we call forth in many decrees come down and enter our beings as a spherical sun that is always provided if we just ask. Now is the only time that you may take action, and forever it will be now that you will be able to put forth your alchemies and accomplish the vows you made before the current board, before coming into embodiment. Now is the time that you may seize that holy grail of the mighty I Am presence that is ever with you for everything you require. The ascended and angelic hosts are always at hand. Matters not what time of day it is. They love us so much. And yet at this physical vibration, where we are not aware with our outer physical senses that their very presence is the foundation of what everything is right here, we must know that it is truth with every cell of our being, especially with our feelings, because it is the only way freedom will be gained upon America and Earth. That these magnificent friends are the ones we must trust, and if we do not, you know the answer, and we must spread the word of this mighty open door that is provided for us right now, to those who would be receptive to it, to those that may benefit of hearing just a law or two, which may very well open the doorway to another, if the individual, by your Holy Christ presence, knowing that they may open and use it. See, that is the key. When sharing forms of light, yes, words, essences of light, cups of light, that hold a certain vibration and a distinct quality that may be the domino effect unto a family, a group, a town, a village, but most importantly the decrees and the momentum that He put forth from your heart through them is what will change all life on the macrocosmic level to every heavily populated city upon this planetary body. And it will not be determined by time. It will be determined by force. And this force is gathered upon those who are so willing, those who are so compassionate for the life streams abounding throughout this planetary body. And it is the students, the chilas, that will continue to sprout more of these individuals just by their very diligence. We must look upon all things as a part of who we are. Even when there is imperfection, we must simply affirm there is only perfection. And the white fire of the immaculate estate of every discordant condition is a part of us, and the great central sun that wants to expand, that wants to be free, that wants to continue on, and building systems of worlds where music and dance and architecture and science and of the beauty of God be expressed ever so infinitely unto more and more and more. Because we truly love everything, and all must be loved into these states, these civilizations, these systems of worlds. The power of love is exactly that. And we, the awakened Christ presences, are doing this day by day. I send you all who I am, for everything that you have done for others through decree work, through the consistency and the divine love you pour out through the work of the Brotherhood of Light. It is an honor to stand by your side and do this work of the ages, the work of the great essential Son of our Father, Mother God. The elements of nature never intend destruction. It is the gift of their life that brings harmony to this planet and its existence. The features that are expressed by the numerous plants, trees, which are the creation. It is the sustainment of the form by the beloved elementals. It is a glorious honor. to be one with. One day this is how everything will be seen, as a part of an honor to experience and be truly, with every cell of our being, a part of it, and feeling that essence. The in-breath of love. To this expression of life. And then the out-breath of devoted service to this expressed kingdom of life. Is a placement of consciousness that ultimately is a ever generating beingness of the fullness of divine love. We must refine and refine and refine those patterns that are accumulated through family. It is a form of family mesmerism in which they and their accumulated human creation manipulates the path of your mighty I Am Presence, and you must know it and seize that very force the moment it steps into your being, and demand its annihilation, demand that it only be perfection, and that it be replaced with perfection by the cosmic Christ, victorious love, by the cosmic Christ, almighty light of the great central sun, of the unfed flame of the brotherhood of light. And surely, many times, the family might have to be put aside in terms of you focusing on your divine plan. There are many times in which it is the parents that brings a force to the Chila, in which that one does not efficiently know how to handle it, and it then settles in unto their world and brings them unto the exact level of consciousness that it came from. Being the presence on guard, holding that fearlessness flame sword of mighty ray o' light, and knowing that the light of God never fails, and the mighty I Am Presence is that light. And on the back of that sword, mighty I Am Presence seize control of this condition. You are the victorious presence, conquering every situation here and forever. It is an engram that infuses your being with that exact phrase a similar phrase. But there are these gifts, and if you can continue to study the teachings and apply, you will find momentums of our beloved ones that will allow you to repel much of the discordant accumulation of the millions of years that has been upon this planet. The physical instrument may very well deceive your feelings. It may deceive your thoughts just by a simple org of pain, which is always seeming. It's the root of all life. And reality is perfection. It is the white light, and it must always be consistently affirmed that there is only God perfection. Wherever there may be a seeming discordant appearance, but many times throughout the workplaces around this world, where people are having to work numerous hours, and their feeling bodies and their mental bodies become imbalanced and out of control. One, because they do not know the teaching, and number two is because they have allowed the appearance of their habits, their accumulated momentums of their habits, and many times their physical instrument, to continue to act that certain way. You have the full authority to command any part of your instruments, your physical instrument, to be perfect. You must command that there is only God perfection, that the light of your mighty iron presence and of the entire spirit of the Brotherhood of Light descend unto this aspect of your instrument, and seize control, sustain perfection, and hold your guard upon your attention of that only being perfection. And it may be needed to be affirmed. It may need to be commanded more than just once. It requires the fervor of your heart and a certain momentum released for an outpouring, a release to fully bring harmony to those areas that you have allowed into your life. It is a tipping point in cosmic law that will allow you to have the full benefits of the cosmic light, the full momentum of the entire spirit of the Brotherhood of Light. And if you command this unto your world, your physical instrument, wherever you go, and you sustain your protection, you affirm that you are the very chalice for the outpouring of the sun behind the sun, ever unceasingly pouring out forth divine love, harmony, perfection to every electron, every person, everything you see and feel, every noise. There is only God perfection in this. And so, You may be dauntless wherever you go in your affairs, and you have the momentum of the entire spirit of the Brotherhood of Light. And yet you must be that shining leader for others to lead on, to come into their mighty I Am presence and show others what they are capable of, and be that very foundation, that balance on that very point where you are, to hold the balance for your city, for your locality, for the nation, and for the planetary body. And if there seems to be a greater imbalance in certain areas of the world, and perhaps that might shift into a greater momentum, you have the power, you have the capability, in the name I am that I am, to have the hosts of heaven descend, to have the Elohim and their momentum descend, the archangels descend with their momentum by your spoken word, by the fervor of the secret chamber of your heart. You have the capacity to unload the biggest unfortunate conditions from arising and ceasing if they arise. But just know, when you give it all you are, know that it is acting. No matter what the outer appearance is, you must hold that harmony, because if you give in, it will allow that misqualification to limit your expansion, but more importantly, limit the expansion and the holding of the balance for these localities and different areas of the world, especially for the elemental beings, which at this time you know is very unfortunate to many, and will only continue on just by the mere reflection of the consciousness of mankind. The power is yours. You may be the hands, the heart, the feet of the mighty beings of the sun who help us. You may devote your life as an electrode to thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And when you just allow that office, that mighty way of life to govern your life, that you make your calls whenever you see that moment where light of God is required, the joy of this initiation of the path is a glorious way to live, and that no other way to live would be a desire. I bid you my farewell, my dear ones, and ever so strive to shine as the almighty sunflower. And may the sunflower of the sun be ever in your heart.